Hi everyone, it's me again. Before I get started this week, I need to say a massive thank you. I recorded the video last week on the spur of the moment. It was initially supposed to be for my clients and I thought I would share it with the wider world in case it was helpful. And to date, I think nearly 1,500 of you have watched it across YouTube and Instagram, which I didn't expect. Time is a premium for all of us, and I really hope it helps. I'm really grateful for those of you who took the time to watch it. I also need to say a very large thank you to the 745,000 of you who felt the need to point out my slightly overgrown fringe to me. Thank you, I was aware of it. I just decided not to re-record the video because I knew I couldn't do the words as well the second time around if I tried. I have been tempted to cut it myself this week. However, my hairdresser is beautiful and tiny and utterly terrifying, and if I dare take a single snip out of a fringe I've given her hell for the last year, she will actually hunt me down, and I would probably take my chances with COVID-19 before I took my chances with her. So it's scraped back today. You can see my beautiful forehead lines instead, which I'm going to try and not be completely put off by. On to the topics. So I am noticing more and more that anger is coming up, and that's not surprising. Rage is something I specialise in, funnily enough, firstly because I am a very angry person, as anyone who's seen me in a car will attest to, and secondly because it's the thing that I'm called in most to work with families in, particularly families where there are issues of special needs. Anger and rage can be really challenging to deal with, so it's something I know a fair amount about. And I'm not surprised that after the last week when people were kind of, we're going to do this, let's make this happen, we'll be fine, and relishing a bit of a novelty situation, that this week the worm is turning and the anger is starting to emerge. There is a reason for that. It's not because you're all secretly rage monkeys, it is because it is a normal human response. Anger is an emotion like any others. In society, we're conditioned to believe that actually anger is wrong. That's not true. Anger is perfectly healthy and a very normal reaction to feeling another emotion. Usually unmet needs, hormones, or fear. Very often, if we are scared of something, we will react with fury. What that looks like at the moment is most of us sitting in our homes getting cross with our partners because they've left a teacup on the side once a bloody again, losing our absolute shit. Do you really care about the teacup? Yes, that's annoying and infuriating and probably worth you burying him in the garden, but you're not really cross about that. What you're cross about is, am I going to have to put up with his friggin' teacups every day for the rest of my life? What if I don't have to deal with his friggin' teacups every day for the rest of my life? What if one of us dies? What if my parents die? What if my kids get sick? What if we never go back to work? What if this never ends? Those are the things that are going on underneath the surface. So before you start to think that you are some kind of crazy person, you're not a crazy person. We're all feeling a natural response to a really challenging situation. There are certain things that you can do to make it easier for yourself. The first one, a lot of my clients are telling me that they are losing their crap with their kids on a very regular basis, that they know that their children are finding it hard and that they worry they're hurting their mental health or their abilities to cope. The first tip in that is own your shit. If you are having one of those days, in my family, because we are completely inappropriate and do not do things the way that we are supposed to, we're calling them dickhead days. Whose turn is it to be the dickhead today? Today actually is mine. I have so far lost my temper over dishes, breathing, my child practicing his football quite reasonably, my dog jumping on me, my baby's bum not being changed, and about 97 other things. Oh, my son put my hairdryer in my room and I didn't want it in my room. I wanted it on my desk. How dare he move my hairdryer? So today is my dickhead day. If it's your dickhead day, be honest. You don't have to say to your perfectly lovely children the word dickhead. I reserve that for my family. But what you can say to them is, do you know what, I'm really sorry, I know I'm being a bit of a nightmare today, I'm finding it really difficult, I'm really cross, I don't even know why, but if you could just help me out a bit, that would be great. It doesn't mean they're gonna, but it means you're taking responsibility for it. You're not blaming other people for what is essentially your problem. Anger, when it is owned, dissipates rapidly and it doesn't cause the same level of damage. Number 2, check your expectations on yourself and on other people. Are you still trying to home educate for 7 hours a day? If so, knock it off. Really? You're not home educating your children. This idea that you're home educating is nonsense. You're not. Home education is a very specific way of teaching. When children are taken out of mainstream school, they go through a period that equates to how long they were in school for, called unschooling, where they undo all of the rigidity and difficulty that they faced in their schooling lives, and they learn to learn in a different way. Focused learning for home educated children is usually done for 1 to 2 hours a day in short bursts, and then they learn in different ways by living and experiencing life. They don't sit at a desk in their dining room for 7 hours a day while you try to get your work done and get progressively more frustrated with the fact that you can't remember what Key Stage 1 maths actually is. That's me, by the way. If you're finding it too hard to do this, you have my absolute permission not to. One of my friends has found this week that actually when you leave them to come to it when they're bored themselves, they'll do it themselves and they'll do it quite well. But don't be worried that your children are going to fall behind and put loads of pressure on yourselves and them to keep them up to speed with where you think they should be academically. Any teacher worth their salt will tell you that in 3 to 6 months, or however long it takes before they go back into education, they're not going to go in at an academic level of 3 to 6 months from where they are now. They'll not expect to be progressed at all. Teachers will know that there will be a time frame where they have to re-educate them in the process of being in a classroom first, and then go back and cover an awful lot of the learning that they've already done to help them remember it. So there's no need for you to stress about this. If you do want to teach them something you love. My 10-year-old's upstairs playing with makeup right now. He really enjoys it. He's learning how to be RuPaul. Ace! Could be a life skill, who knows? I don't care. He's not in my hair, he's not doing my head in, and provided he doesn't break any of my eyeliners, I'm perfectly fine with it. Have fun, let go. The next one is if you are getting angry with your partner. This is harder. My partner right now is smoking so much he's starting to look like Doc Cotton. I'd quite like to kill him most of the time, and in fact I have started to wonder if the shovel in the shed is enough for me to dig a big hole and pretend to put a house on it afterwards so nobody knows. That doesn't mean that I don't love him or that we're going to get divorced at the end of this. We might. Lots of you might. For relationships that were already in a difficult place, if you're not working through it, this could be too much of a strain for you. Or it could be a really bloody good chance for you to work through the stuff that have been causing you real problems. When you got married to your husband, you said, love, honour, cherish, definitely not obey, fuck that. You did not say, live with you for 24 hours a day and all of your stupid habits in a very confined space with no ability to leave and no ability to go for a walk whenever I feel like it. If somebody had said to you, that's the vow, can you do that? You probably would have said, no. I would have said, is Richard Armitage available? If so, can I have that arrangement with him? Because this one is not that. We're facing a situation that we weren't prepared for. It's basically confinement. You're in a lockdown situation and suddenly you're going to see a lot of things and they're going to see a lot of things about you that you don't like. One of the really annoying things is actually seeing things that you do like. My husband sits on that computer for his work colleagues. He's so efficient. He's so commanding. He gets things done. He's not like that at home. Why is he not like that at home? I'm thinking, let's work it out. We can try and see if we can get him to be more like that at home. It is annoying. We are sniping at each other. But again, it's an opportunity to show empathy and to work through those issues. And finally, you're getting annoyed with yourself, with the world, with being frustrated. I had a client just this morning yell at me. It's not about us. It's not. Those people who are out there risking lives, that's really frustrating. The people who will not get the message about lockdown, that's infuriating because all of us are having to deal with this in our home right now while we feel angry and scared. But so much of anger is about control. You want to control your environment, you want to control the future, you want to control what's going to happen. And when you can't, you get angry. And when you get angry, there's nowhere for that to go. So right now, the best thing to do is manage what you can manage. And what you can manage is yourself. Take deep breaths. Go outside if you can. Take a little bit of space for yourself. Tell people honestly that you are going outside. If your husband has a habit of disappearing off to the toilet with his phone for half an hour, then do the same. Take a book. Lock the door. Tell him to deal with it. Ignore them hammering. Put speakers in. Do what you have to. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you to do self-care, not least because I think it's utter bullshit. Gwyneth Paltrow can get in the damn sea. So often self-care is about selling something rather than caring for anyone. But I am going to tell you to be a bit selfish. Think about yourselves, think about your own needs, and think about what you need to do to get through this. If you're getting cross, be honest about it. But for God's sake, don't judge yourselves. No one's getting anywhere with that right now. And I promise you, when we look back at this time in history, no one's going to be like, you ruined my life during that pandemic. They're just going to be grateful they survived. And so are you. See you all soon. Bye.